What's up, guys? So we're back yet again, and like I said before in the last Star Wars video I did, I could have swore I did a review on this, but either way, it's fine. Now I know, and again, I should not have to give a recap on this movie, but if you guys have not seen this movie, obviously check it out. We're going to be talking about Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, the Episode 2 of the prequels. And in all honesty, I know this movie gets a lot of love and hate, but I really did like this movie. I really did. I remember going to see this and I was so excited to see this film. And being able to witness Star Wars as a kid and seeing the clones and older Anakin Skywalker and the Battle of Geonosis and all the other Jedi and Jango Fett, all these things, man. I mean, again, it was awesome. It was awesome to see that in theaters when you're a kid. Now, I will say this, um, depending on your opinion of it. So the entirety of this movie, it takes place 7-8 years after Phantom Menace. You have an older Anakin Skywalker who is an apprentice to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you have Hayden Christensen being shown for the first time. You got Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan, and something happens with Natalie Portman's character, aka Senator Amidala Padme, and Anakin and Obi-Wan are tasked to protect her, but more crazy things happen. They find that there's an assassin after her, and more of a plot starts going to where Obi-Wan figures out that a bounty hunter named Jango Fett was hired by Darth Tyrannus, aka Count Dooku, former Jedi, who is part of the Separatist Order, who is also the apprentice of Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, and Anakin is being tasked with protecting Padme on Naboo, and then he starts having nightmares about his mother, so he tries to go to find his mother. His mother dies in his arms. He gets revenge on the Tusken Raiders, and that's when he starts going further deep into the dark side, and also seeing his relationship with Padme grow, because again, he's been in love with her for over 7-8 years. He's been in love with her ever since he first saw her, and then seeing how the Clone Wars began by learning about the clones, that they were, uh, you know, cloned from Jango Fett, and Tyrannus and Sidious orchestrated this, mainly Sidious, and going into how you know, everyone's relationship evolves. Same thing with Obi-Wan and Anakin, how Anakin thinks he's ready to be a knight, but not yet. Same thing with Obi-Wan. Like, he cares about Anakin, but Anakin is very brash. He's very ambitious. He wants something to prove. And again, if you've listened to any of the stories or the books or whatever, Anakin went through a lot during this time, because again, he was a prodigy. He was the aka the chosen one, and they kept holding him back, and then having to deal with the council and seeing all this other kind of stuff. Now, again, you guys cannot tell me that scene in the Geonosis battle where you see not Dooku, but you see Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mace Windu, he just comes up and he just ignites his lightsaber near Jango's throat, and he's just like, this party's over. And you just see all the other Jedi in the stadium, bright up all the lightsabers, and they start fighting in the arena. I love that scene. That scene is majorly badass, and some of the dialogue could be better. I will admit that CGI at the time was amazing. This is what made me really become more of a Jango Fett, aka Mandalorian, fan, because I loved learning about Jango Fett, about where did he come from, what was he, learning that he was Boba Fett's father, seeing Slave One again for the first time in theaters, and then seeing that scene where Obi-Wan's trying to go after Jango in Slave One, over Geonosis, and you see, just like silence, and you hear, boom, from the bombs in space, man. It's just all these things that they did. It was just amazing, and especially when you're a kid and you're seeing this on screen, and you're seeing and you're hearing all this stuff, man. You're hearing it, you're seeing it, and you got the theater, you got the speakers. It's awesome. And then seeing the battle between Yoda and Count Dooku, and then before that, Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku, before we got to see, obviously, in Revenge of the Sith, or even in Clone Wars and all that stuff, or seeing how everything was turning in motion for a clock of what exactly was going to happen with Anakin, because we were already seeing what was going to happen with Anakin, because he blamed Obi-Wan for holding him back. He blamed the council for holding him back. He lost his mother, and he made a promise, and that promise went to Padme, that he was not going to lose her like he lost his mother, even though he had definitely did. But this movie, regardless of what you feel, to me, this movie is a classic. This movie is a lot of things. Dramatic, action-packed. The music is incredible. The lightsaber battles, incredible. Seeing the clones for the first time, incredible. Because when I was a kid, I thought, oh man, are these the stormtroopers? Like, I thought they were the bad guys, you know. And then realizing what happened, I was like, oh dang, I was right, because I didn't know. I mean, nobody knew. Nobody knew. Everyone thought by the Attack of the Clones, we're like, okay, what are we going to be seeing? The birth of the stormtroopers type deal. And again, I was a kid. I didn't know any of this stuff. I did not know that there was, these clone troopers were actually clones of another human being, and also that the stormtroopers were just random hires for the Empire. I did not know that when I was a kid. It took me a long time to realize that, guys. But I like this movie. I'm not gonna say I don't. I really enjoyed it. I was very excited to see it. The cinematography was gorgeous of where they filmed for Naboo, where they filmed for, you know, especially whether it's CGI or not, it was still amazing to see Coruscant more. It was amazing to see Geonosis. It was amazing to see Camino. Camino was always one of my favorite planets within Star Wars, still is. And I think a lot of people need to give this movie a break. I mean, again, I'm going to say it like I did in the last video I did for Revenge of the Sith. I would rather watch this for the rest of my life rather than watch any of the sequels. I'm going to say that now. And someone get angry with me, that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But again, I'm entitled to my opinion. So if you enjoy this movie, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But at the same time, like I've been saying, we're all Star Wars fans at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's getting shown more and more of what and who Star Wars fans are. And I think a lot of us that went and go see the sequels, we lived through that hate. We lived through it. We saw what was going on. I didn't hear a whole lot of it until I got older. And there was a lot of people like, oh man, Attack of the Clones sucks, or Phantom Menace needs to be better, or Revenge of the Sith was just a big letdown, and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, like, and now they're praised. And it's like, dude, I've been here along with other people saying, what was your problem with the prequels? And it's like, this is the downfall of Anakin Skywalker turning into Lord Vader. And that's what we saw. From 2 to 3. You can say it started in 1, okay, fine. But again, he was a kid. He was a kid. That was a slave. He was a slave. He lost his mother. He was in love with this gorgeous politician. And he couldn't have her. And then he did have her, but they had to keep it a secret. Because it was forbidden. Not with him being a Jedi, but with her being a senator. Of a political standpoint. So, again, regardless of what you think, I think it's a good movie. I highly enjoyed the battle between Obi-Wan and Jango on Camino. I thought that was a very fun fight when I was a kid. Ewan McGregor brought it, especially when he kicks Jango over the edge, and he just is like, uh-oh, not good, and he just starts going down. Like, that still cracks me up to this day, just by his face, like, uh-oh, not good, because he didn't realize what he did till he did it. But, again, regardless of what you guys think of Attack of the Clones, I still think it's a great movie. So, that is my overall opinion of this film. Again, there's others that's going to try to dissect it, destroy it, do this, do that. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But at the same time, are you a Star Wars fan? Because I really doubt you want to have that conversation with someone like me or someone else. So that's just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you as always on the next one.